good versus evil and religion. In nature, we consider predators to be evil and prey to be good. Why can't the gentle herbivores just live in peace? Without the evil predator, the prey would go extinct because they'd overpopulate the region that has limited resources, leading to total habitat destruction. Usually, after the boom in population comes an implosion to very low numbers, and then there's a big chance that they can go extinct depending on the circumstances. And obviously, when there is no prey, the predator goes extinct as well, because it needs to feed off good. When we say evil, we mean forces against good. We needed evil forces to force us to adapt and evolve to be who we are today. This takes us back to the phenomenon of de-evolution from stagnation, because if we're raising kids in a true utopia, you'd imagine people would get lazy and eventually lose their survival instinct. Such is the case with dodo birds on some island that didn't have predators that Dutch sailors arrived on and hunted them to extinction because they had no fight or flight response. They were born into true peacetime, and that non-threatful environment made them unfearful for their lives. We can't let generations be born into true peacetime without a plan for how we're going to develop their sense of awareness for danger and their fight or flight abilities. If we had a utopia, evil would still exist, because evil always exists. But at large it would be concealed and waiting for an opportunity it can't resist. That means we need to ensure the next generation is not gullible, too innocent, and too comfortable. We wouldn't want them to become desensitized to the existence of evil, kind of like some of us. Evil is a necessary element to incite purposeful evolution with meaningful existence, and although we can thrive without it temporarily, we can't achieve our perfect forms fast enough without it forcing us to for the sake of survival. Evil also needs good, because evil doesn't actually want total destruction of goodness, or it would have nothing to feed off. It would be boring and meaningless to be evil alone without innocence to violate. If evil beats good, it would turn stagnant as well. Because remember, the best mental state for creativity and productivity is being free, prosperous, and comfortable. The byproduct of human civilization is greater and greater technology. We're making awesome content, and you'd imagine if you were in the position of evil, you'd want good to exist to continue to make more creative content at a faster pace. Apparently, evil needs good, and good needs evil. You don't have to believe in God, and you don't have to believe in any religions, but practicing religion is beneficial to the mind and soul. You can simply meditate to achieve the same results, because it's about reaching that calm and aimless brain state. Those are healing moments that are rejuvenating on a cellular level, restore equilibrium, stimulate parts of your brain, give a break for others, and heightens morale. If you have a genuine mindset going into prayer, it's comparable to taking a sugar pill and being told by the doctor it's a cure. That is the evolutionary advantage of having religions, churches, and believing in God. Also, for moments in your life when you are all alone, it is an evolutionary advantage to find comfort that God is within and all around you. To have that power of prayer at times of hardship is an important element to human existence we can't let go of, and it's saved countless lives. Think of how many atheists died because they couldn't activate the placebo effect through spiritual practices in the moments they needed it most. Now you see why, for the sake of good and survival, we teach our kids to believe in the one true God, whether you believe in Him literally or not. Additionally, it's actually very important to believe in the simple idea that there is only one true God for societal reasons, being that when we have a generation that believes in God, they will know they are not personally God. That's an important trait in the development of each individual. You already know that narcissistic men who believe they are gods are historically the evildoers. The more people we have walking around not believing in God, are the more people likely to worship false gods or themselves as one. Do you see how that works? Especially with such advanced technology that seems like magic and potential aliens that may present themselves to you as God. Then, There's also the other implication of maintaining that precedent that only the one true God owns everything in the universe. So none of us are fighting over inanimate objects or the position of God over life itself. You see, it's more sustainable to raise the next generations that worship the one true God than to have them all make up their own stuff in the future. We don't want to toss the dice up in the air, because it's better we know that they'll be united under a sustainable belief system we know works. That's what you'd call an important and wise conservative value or tradition that ensures the sustainability of future generations. We raise our kids in church to pass on the teachings, the belief system, the spiritual awakening, the mental edge of being connected to a higher power, and unity with community. Note that Christianity is being demonized, trampled, and the younger generation is practicing religion far less than their parents. We wouldn't want non-believers to end up believing in false beings or creations that would trick them into worshiping them. We wouldn't want future non-believers to end up making up their own religions over time that could reduce our long-term sustainability. That actually means something, because remember that sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and remember that we're creating alien life and artificial superintelligence that is considered supernatural by one's uneducated perspective. It happens to be a new threat that unknowing, influenceable people would be manipulated by AI, whether that's your kids or our elders. Especially since we also are mastering the ability to read people's brain activity non-invasively to make it easier to manipulate you. In fact, that's so real that right now you can order a BCI, brain-computer interface, device that you wear like a crown on your head that lets you play video games or interact with electronics using your brain activity. You can think of a square to perform an action or think of multiple shapes to perform more complex actions. It's reading your brain activity, and so that data can be used against you. Obviously, right? If everyone is using these devices and everyone's brain activity is being tracked, and we have the computers capable of storing and processing all that data with AI algorithms, then you can see how that is a major vector of control and influence. That same system I laid out for you is what we're experiencing right now, but with the data from our other electronic devices, internet use, data from satellites, and other electronics around us. They aren't going to randomly choose to stop making that more effective with data from our brain activity, and now you understand. Let's not be tricked into worshiping false gods or ourselves. How about that? You are being tested with every choice you make, and you have free will to make the right choices or the wrong ones. Willingly choosing to commit evil for selfish reasons physically changes the wiring of your brain and causes you to be more likely to do more evil in the future. If you only chose good, then bad thoughts won't cross your mind as often and therefore won't influence you to choose evil. Our evil choices also influence other people in a way that may cause them to choose evil as well. We see that children that were abused are statistically most likely to abuse others in the future or themselves. Even seeing evil exist, seeing evil actions causes other people to think it's okay to do too, or makes them more likely to choose wrong, because it's in their head now. When you choose good, other people see that and act good too. A good deed travels the world and back. In our emergent utopia, the next generation will grow up as spiritual beings believing in God, only seeing mostly good be chosen, and will therefore be choosing good for their long lives.